friends, my name is Carrie Cox and welcome to my channel where I help people use their personal power to build a connection between your mind, body, and spirit. In today's video, we are going to talk about the masculine and the feminine energies that we all possess within us, and we're going to talk more about the feminine and the feminine wounds. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button so that you can be notified when future videos are released. So within all of us, we have masculine and feminine energies, and life is all about balance. And so it's really all about learning how to balance those energies within them. And once we understand how these energies work, we can learn to see where we are in our own life, where we're out of balance, and put them into balance. And the concept of these energies comes up in my line of work all the time because I can see by looking at someone's body whether they are balanced or imbalanced in their masculine and feminine, because our physical body tells a story and it plays out. When I have people that come and, all of their complaints are all the right side of their body, well, I know that their masculine energy is out of balance. And so I may start questioning them to see where they are out of balance in their life. And so it even starts to play out in our physical body. It's a concept that is coming up in all of my card readings, in all of the energies for 2021. Everything is coming back to balancing the masculine and feminine energies within us because those energies have been so wounded over time. And it is a proven fact now that we carry within our body, within our DNA, we are carrying the emotions and the problems of our past ancestors through the lineage in our body. And so it's really about healing those imbalances now so that we're not passing that on to future generations and to our future kids. So it's important to remember that all of us have masculine and feminine within us. This is not a gender thing, so I want to throw the disclaimer out there right now. I am going to generalize and use masculine in referring to men and feminine in referring to women, and that's only because 80% of women at their core have a dominant feminine energy. On the average, 80% of men have a dominating energy of masculine. Now, there's a wide spectrum of percentages amongst people. You can be a female and have more masculine energy than feminine energy. You could be a female that has more feminine energy than masculine, but maybe you don't have 80%. Maybe you only have 60% feminine energy and 40% masculine. So the varying scale is going to differ from person to person. But in this video, we are talking generally about the 80-20 ratio, and that men at their core have a dominating masculine energy. If you are a man who has a dominating feminine energy, then know when I'm talking about the feminine wounds that I'm talking about you. I just may be using a different pronoun. So the scale is so wide, and it's important to know anytime we're talking about mind, body, and spirit that we're all unique. There are no two people that are the same, and that's what makes us so amazing, is the fact that there is no one like me in this world. And so I am proud to be unique. So whatever it is that makes me unique, whatever unique talent or skill I have, or unique, whatever that is that's unique about me, I need to embrace that and love that part of me, because that's what makes me different from other people. So we need to look at those uniquenesses about us and love those parts of us, because those are the best parts of us. But for some reason, we try to suppress those parts of us. In that, also, we are all trying to suppress our feminine energy, because that is what we've been told over centuries and centuries of time to do, is suppress the feminine energy. Feminine energy is looked at as weak in our society, and it is anything but weak. That is the biggest lie that has been told to everyone, is that it's weak, because in fact, it's more powerful. So it's really about seeing beyond the illusion. And we've all been tricked and fooled to think that the feminine energy is weak It was the masculines long ago that were afraid of the feminine energy, but what they failed to realize is they also embody that energy in them as well. And life is a dance. It's a dance of trying to keep those energies within us in balance. And so I want to talk about what that looks like and why the feminine is so out of balance these days. This video is not just for women, because men, you also have feminine energy within you, and your wounds are going to come out and play out in the wrong way and be triggered if you are not tapping into your feminine energy properly. You also can't show up as that strong masculine if your feminine energy is wounded. So we're going to talk all about that in today's video. So remember how I said there's this 80-20 on average in most people. That means we're not looking for a 50-50 balance. But if at our core, my dominating energy is 80% feminine, but 80% of the time I'm in my masculine, because we live in a very masculine dominated society, I'm going to be off balance. So it's about understanding that we're not looking for equal portions. We're looking for who we truly are, and we want to nurture that. We want to nurture who we truly are, because if I am 80% feminine at my core and this person over here is 50% feminine at their core, we have unique differences. So we want to nurture that within us. So this is going to play out differently for everybody. So it's about becoming aware and understanding who you truly are. And it's important to remember that gender has nothing to do with these. These are energies. These are energies that are on opposite poles, which create consciousness. There's a positive and negative pole to everything. And so it's about understanding how that energy is a push and a pull and how that energy works. It's important to realize that it is the wounds within our masculine energy and the wounds within our feminine energy that keep us from the other half of source energy, God energy, because God is half feminine and half masculine. It's God and goddess. Okay, there is a balance of both. So when we are suppressing some of our energy, if I'm suppressing my feminine energy, then I am suppressing part of my spirit, and we need both. We need both to be in balance. So someday the world will be in balance in the masculine and the feminine energies. When the world is more in balance between the masculine and feminine, it will look like no more fear, more people being authentic, more people having a sense of freedom. You will see more self-love, and this will lead to greater compassion for other people. We will be coming from more of a heart space, and this is because we will feel it for ourselves. We will feel more love for ourselves, and we will be vibrating in the emotion of love, which means that we will be vibrating higher. If we look in nature, masculine and feminine energy shows up all in nature, and it vibrates and works together. And that is the key. And that is where we in humanity have kind of run short, I think, is we aren't working together properly. Even in the body, the left side of the body is our feminine side. The right side is masculine. They need to work together. There are parts of the body that are masculine and feminine that also need to work together. The tongue is masculine, where the mouth is feminine. We see this play out just like this in nature. So what happens when this energy gets blocked for our feminine energy? Since this is the energy that's been suppressed, we live in a very masculine society. Masculine energy is about doing, giving, and feminine energy is about receiving, surrendering. When feminine energy is not blocked and it's flowing, it looks like loving, creative, intuitive, receptive, and it's nurturing. We will feel safe and we will feel trust in the world. We will feel safe to express who we truly are. We will feel safe to show emotion, and we will feel safe to ask for help. Feminine energy is soft and it's tender. And when our feminine energy is balanced, we have a healthy sexuality and we have healthy expression of ourself, of our sensuality and sexuality. The funny thing is women think they know what men want, but they have it wrong. because women have been conditioned to think they know what men want based on what they see on social media, what they see in the magazines and on TV, what they see from the porn industry. So we think we know what they want because that is not portrayed in those things. Those are images that are flashed before our face to bring about a certain response or emotion within us so that we will spend money. Advertisers know how to evoke a certain feeling inside of us to get us to spend so that we can have or be that same sense of feeling that it brings out in us. But it's all an illusion. It's a deception against us. And what it does is it programs and patterns us to believe that we have to achieve that body or be that person or act this certain way and men will want us. But in fact, what a man really wants is he wants us to be and to express who we authentically and truly are. And when we can be that, which is in our place of our divine feminine energy, because that is where we are safe, we are surrendering, we are expressing who we naturally and truly are. That is what the masculine desires. That is what he wants. So he may be tricked into thinking that woman is so beautiful and her body is so beautiful, I want that. And as soon as he has that, he realizes that it was an empty vessel that still did not fulfill the void within him because it was just a physical body. It had no depth. It wasn't expressing who it truly was inside. And so he moves on to the next. So as feminines, do we really know what the masculine wants? Well, I could tell you we do when we are in our feminine energy. Then we know because we can understand and we could use those forces to work for us instead of against us. When we can master that feminine energy, and then we can become in alignment with every part of our life, not just in obtaining that masculine man, but everything will flow in more easily. We will create abundance all around us by tapping into that feminine energy. I'm going to tell you a story I was thinking about the other day. So I've been studying a lot about the masculine and feminine energies this week because it's just something that keeps coming up in all of my card readings. And ever since 2021 started, it seems like that is like the focus of the year, is balancing your masculine and feminine energies. And even when, I do my own card readings for myself and my own healing, and I'm constantly asking like, okay, what is the karma I need to clear up? My twin flame and I's karmic relationship. What is this karma that needs to be cleared? Or why can't I'm trying to think of something I'm constantly asking about. Why can't I lose weight or be a certain way or whatever? And it always leads me back to the masculine and feminine energy. So I started really going in yesterday and really thinking, okay, I feel like I'm feminine. When I look at myself, I look feminine, but am I truly embodying the feminine energy? I counsel a lot of people who are twin flames, and a lot of twin flames are not in union. And I happen to be in union with my twin flame. So I went back to the very beginning of when I first met my twin flame. And my life should have been in chaos. I was newly separated from my ex-husband, coming out of a long-term marriage. I didn't know where I was going to live. I was just starting my business. So it wasn't like I had the financial abundance. So my life should have been in chaos. And I knew nothing about spirituality or anything about law of attraction or anything. And I had been watching some YouTube videos, and I had been following Dr. John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And I started starting to understand the concept of the masculine and the feminine energies. When I look back and think back, okay, how was I able to bring my twin flame in so fast? And all these people out here are struggling that I'm helping with. Why was it so easy? And I think back to what I was embodying at that time. And I actually had the best body in my life at that time. I felt confident. I felt beautiful. I was embodying my feminine energy. It was like I was the perfect embodiment of feminine energy. I was being who I authentically was. And I think back to just dating my husband, who's my twin flame. Through our dating process, I was showing up just being who I authentically was. I wasn't playing games. I wasn't wearing masks. I was just being me. And I was being me in the full embodiment of my feminine energy. And somewhere along the way, I started losing some of that, and I started losing the best body of my life. I was still gaining clients and building a business, but through all that, I was shifting more back into my masculine energy because it was about doing. It was about building a business and working all the time and focusing more on that masculine energy. So although I still looked very feminine on the outside, I was playing out more of my masculine energy. My true authentic self doesn't like that because that's not my dominating energy. And I'm not surrendering to my dominating energy, which is the feminine energy. So there were some things, even though I'm still in union with my twin flame, that has not changed, but there were some dynamics in my journey that were shifting and changing in a way that I wouldn't have wanted it to change. And I looked back over the last few days, I've been looking back and reflecting on that, realizing it was my energy shifting, my energy changing from that receptive energy to that doing energy, and realizing that whoa, I need to find the balance. Being an entrepreneur and running a business, yes, you have to be in your masculine, but there's got to be ways to be able to do it from the place of the feminine and in all aspects of life, not just business, and embody that more. So these last few days I've been trying to embody more of my feminine energy, and I find that I'm happier and that I feel better inside. I don't feel angry inside. So when our feminine energy is wounded, when we aren't being in that feminine energy to the percentage that we are naturally at our core, whether you're a man or a woman, if you're not embodying the right mix of that feminine energy, what it's going to come out and look like are things like being very controlling, being very manipulating, having low self-esteem, being very needy, having weak boundaries, being a people pleaser, having a victim mindset and mentality, feeling bitter and resentful, seeing the world as a dangerous place, having a whole lot of fear out in the world, not trusting your intuition because you're being too logical. When you're in your masculine, you are more logical, more rational, more analytical. That's why when you're always in the business world, you're always coming from that place of masculine energy. We got to drop out of the head and down into the body and into the heart and be more intuitive, more heartfelt, more nurturing. Those are feminine aspects within us. If we're being codependent, that is a feminine wound. If we're always apologizing or trying to explain ourselves, and if we're not being in our true authentic self, these are things that happen because of the feminine wounds or blocks within us. If we're not allowing or sitting in that other energy. So women who have a feminine dominating core but are operating too much in their masculine, it will be easy to spot because they will come off as angry, resentful, and unhappy, and she will never be able to attract the relationship she wants coming from that state. Not only will she not be able to attract the relationship she wants, she won't be able to attract anything, any abundance, any money or wealth, anything, because of those blocks. So I thought about, even for my own self over the last few days, where does that wounding come from? So as a collective, I can see where that wounding comes from. You know, if we are teaching young kids and young girls to be more focused on winning, achievement, and success, well, then we're not allowing ourselves to be more in the feminine because those are masculine qualities. Feminine qualities would be more creative and a flow-like state. And society kind of pushes that aside and says, you can't make money being more creative or being artistic. That's not as abundant as going to college and being this over here. And so as a society, we teach girls that to be success driven, and this is teaching girls to be more in their masculine and less in their feminine. So we have to start getting out of these old belief systems and this conditioning, and we have to start balancing that energy within us. Once we become aware of it, then we can, where these conditioning traits are coming from, we can start to let go of it. So the collective energy as a whole, there's a lot of feeling unsafe, not feeling valued, feeling unheard, and that is being taught to the younger generations. And this is why we keep staying in this place of feminine energy suppression. So individually, because that's collectively, now individually, where does this come from? Well, we have to look at who are the female role models in our life? Our mothers, our grandmothers, our teachers, whoever we were looking up to as that feminine role model when we were younger. What kind of feminine energy did they show up in that they either directly or indirectly taught you? Were they teaching you that femininity was weak and that we needed to show up more in our masculine? Or were they confident and flowing with ease in life? Did they feel unsafe? Did they create an unsafe environment for you? Did they struggle? I look back at myself back when I was like a teenager and thinking about the female role models in my life, and where did I get the conditioning and patterning that I'm not good enough? And I know exactly where it came from. I read Cosmo magazine and all of those teen girl magazines when I was a teenager. And although today logically I know that it's unrealistic. The people in magazines and on TV, it's unrealistic. They're pumped full of Botox, chemicals, fake body parts. The magazines are airbrushed. It's unattainable, unachievable what we are seeing before our eyes. And logically, I know that. But as a 14-year-old girl who is being imprinted on, in my day, back when I was a teenager, it seems like if you look at the in trends of body types, right now we have more of a curvy body type with a really tiny, unachievable waistline with a huge ass, which is completely unattainable, because if you're going to grow your ass, you're also going to grow your waistline in your stomach. Without surgery, that's nearly impossible, but it's all over the magazines. When I was a kid, I did have the tiny little waist and hips and butt and boobs, but that wasn't the in thing. The in thing would be more the very slim, uncurvy body. And so I always felt like there was something wrong with my body because I always had boobs and ass. And I know logically that it was all programming in my subconscious, but the problem is it's still in my subconscious. And so I have to get it out of my subconscious and into my consciousness so I can heal those limiting beliefs, those false beliefs that I was programmed to believe, and to believe that I wasn't good enough or my body wasn't good enough because of those magazines, because of what society taught me, because of what the porn industry teaches boys. We are taught that we aren't good enough. So I look back and wonder, well, no wonder why I had so many self-esteem issues growing up. No wonder why I always thought I wasn't good enough, and no wonder why I can't lose the weight. The weight will go away as soon as I accept that I am perfect the way that I am. But trying to believe that because of that subconscious programming, the programming that's running 95% of the time in the background, kind of like on your phone. You know, when you go into your phone, you have to clear those background apps that are still playing in the background. That's our subconsciousness. It's replaying those stories, those beliefs, those limited beliefs that we have picked up along the way. Those are playing out in our subconsciousness, and we've got to get rid of those because it has created a feminine wound around body image. And that is probably the biggest feminine wound, I would say. Collectively, when I look at the feminine, I would say body image is probably the biggest wound there is. Another wound I can think of off the top of my head, and when I read this, I was just like, wow, that makes sense. I don't think it was much of a wound for me, but collectively I can see how that is. And the only reason why it's not a wound for me anymore is because I don't have to deal with that anymore. But there is a feminine wound around menstruation. We're taught to hide it, to not talk about it, to be embarrassed by it. And I forgot about those feelings until my stepdaughter, when she started her period. And I could see her struggling with embarrassment or shame. And I had to tell her, there's no shame in this. This is beautiful. This is your body doing what it's supposed to do. It is your body cycling through its normal cycle. This is normal. There should be no shame in this. There's no shame in having a beautiful body and menstruating. And so we need to teach our young girls that they don't need to have shame for their body or shame for their period. These are wounds within our collective. Another wound that could be in our feminine energy is if we grew up feeling abandoned, unseen, or unheard. Because remember, the feminine is all about feeling open. The feminine is all about feeling open and feeling safe. So if we grew up in unsafe conditions where we may have experienced neglect or abuse of some sort, then we won't feel safe, and we will actually shut down this part of us. We will shut down our feminine energy. And if you're a boy or a masculine who suffered from those things, you will shut down your energy as well. It's important to remember that all of these behaviors, they are all learned, conditioned, programmed thoughts, beliefs, and we can get rid of all of them. We can unprogram all of them. So how do we unprogram that? How do we heal this energy within us? Well, the first step is to understand where the wounding came from, bringing it out of the subconsciousness and more to the consciousness so that we can work through and heal the wounds. We have to know what our wounds are so that we can consciously choose to let go of those wounds. Because we do have that choice once we know what they are. Once we know what they are, we want to transform those energies, and then we want to add in something positive. So I was actually talking about this concept with a client today, and we were talking about, it's so easy to focus on, oh, I don't like the way my arm looks. My arm looks really fat. It looks really cellulite. I don't really like the way that looks. That's negative self-talk. That's talking down about ourselves. We want to transmute that energy into something more positive. So maybe instead of focusing on my arm, maybe I want to focus on how beautiful my hair is, or how beautiful my eyes are. And I want to compliment myself and tell myself how beautiful those aspects are of me. And I want to continue to find more and more physical things about myself that I love or that I like. And I want to keep adding in more positive experiences. And so that's one of the things about, just me even making these videos. It has been extremely healing for me. And it is the entire purpose why the universe is leading me to making these videos. Because for some of the reason, it's to help anyone who hears my messages and who I can help. Then I love that I can help others. But it's also for my own self-growth, self-healing. And through the making of my videos, I've been able to appreciate so many more things about myself, whereas I wouldn't have been able to find a single thing that I liked or loved about myself prior to making these videos. But every time I make a video and I'm like, ooh, my skin looks really good in that video, or ooh, my eyes look really pretty there, or oh, that shirt looks really good on me, or my hair looks really good like that. My voice, I used to hate the sound of my voice. I was triggered by the sound of my voice. But I'm editing all these videos and I'm hearing my voice over and over again. And now I'm starting to actually like the sound of my voice. And so the more I see myself, the more I am finding the positives about myself, the more it's replacing the negative viewpoints that I have for myself with more positive ways of seeing myself. And it's all been happening naturally through the progression of me making videos. And I've been able to start letting go of some of these negative things I have felt about myself. And I'm healing these wounds within my own feminine energy the more I do this, because the more confident I get in my feminine energy, the more strength as a feminine I will have, and the more abundance I will build for myself, for my life. The more I will manifest from the right place, because it will be from that place of that core energy inside of me instead of from the place of anger and resentment. It will be from the place of love and nurturing. So when we can really tap in, open ourselves up, and come from a place of our true self, we can empower other women to do the same. and we can build a community of women, of healthy women. That's exactly what we will do, is we will help other women feel safe to also express who they truly are, to embody their feminine energy. And we will have much more healthy women, which means we will have healthier relationships between people. We will have healthier relationships within ourselves. And in turn, this will heal that collective wounded energy. Also, if you want to be a healthy feminine woman, you need to surround yourself with other healthy women. If you're surrounding yourself with women that are negative, who criticize other women, who gossip about other women, who talk badly about other women, then you are lowering to their frequencies and their vibrations. And that in turn will make you an unhealthy woman. You will become unhealthy and wounded in your own feminine energy. But if you can surround yourself with other women who help empower and uplift other women, then you are helping heal your own feminine energy. And the last tip I'm going to give you for healing this wounded energy is to make yourself the priority. I wish you all a blessed and beautiful day. Take care and namaste.